Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to our 80s new wave and synthpop extravaganza. Really excited for this one. I figured I'd crank out 5 bands today, 5 that some of you have told me that you like and 5 that have been on my list for a while over on YouTube. So what better way to hit them up by putting them all together. Of course, there's many more bands on my list, but I think these are some of the most popular, so hopefully you enjoy this video. These are all going to be first-time reactions, so I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous because I'm trying something different. This is only the second time ever, including over on YouTube, that I'm reacting without taking notes, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. Of course, I'm going to try my best, but please forgive me if they don't come out as good as normal. But I'm going to try my best to catch what I can. This is all going to be off of memory, so let's see how it goes. I have no clue. Okay, so we're going to do them chronologically according to the release date, whether it be the single first or the album first. I think most of these were singles, so we're going to start way back in 1979 with Blondie and the song Atomic from their 4th studio album, Eat to the Beat. Let's go. I wouldn't know this is Blondie. Shades of ABBA. Breakdown, always a good thing. Cool. That riff so catchy. Okay, let's see what I can remember. Obviously, a big, high energy song, so rapid. That's such a popular thing, in new wave music. Duran Duran, a great example. They're coming up later at the end of this. But anyway, wow, what a song. Big energy. I can see that it's single worthy. A lot to love, but I think the bass was really shining the most for me. Many frantic, really funky bass lines going on, disco elements, and then we got that breakdown where the bass really gets to shine. Great drumming, of course, great keyboards, just subtle, supporting the song. And of course, Debbie Harry's voice, incredible. Always loved it. It's heavily intoxicating here, especially at the end, or towards the end. She started this new musical idea. I can't remember what she was singing, but wow, it's just so sultry, so thick, seductive, just confident. You know what I mean. I love her voice. So uniquely her. Nobody else sounds like her. And wow, let's see if there's anything else. Just a big energy song, like I said, very memorable, very probably fun to dance to back in those early days when it first came out. But wow, much to love. So of course, not my favorite Blondie song. As of now, I've only heard it once. I mean, something like Rapture, my very favorite. I don't think anything could beat that. But anyway, really enjoyed it. I see it for all its merits. I'm going to give it 5 golden records. A pure A score for Atomic by Blondie, 1979. Okay, not too bad, but it is really strange just going off memory, not having to look down, read all my detailed notes. Anyway, not sure if I'll ever adopt that style over on YouTube or here, but hey, it's good to try today. So we'll move on now to 1982 to listen to Heaven 17, Let Me Go, from their second studio album, The Luxury Gap. I should probably tell you what I know from each of these bands. So for Blondie, I think I know about 8 to 10 songs. With Heaven 17, I think that I know 0 songs. So this may be my very first. Here we go. Delicious synth bass.
Once there was a day we were together all the way, an endless path unbroken. But now there is a time, a torture less sublime. Our souls are locked and frozen. Once we were years ahead, but now those stars are dead. Let me go. All hopeless fantasies are making fools of me. Let me go.
Okay, I've heard this.
I walk alone and yet never say goodbye. Let me go. Change your heart and change your mind. Heaven fell that night. Let me go. I tried but could not bring the best of everything. Too breathless then to wonder.
Great harmonies.
I died 1,000 times, found guilty of no crime. Now everything is thunder. Daytime, all I want is nighttime. I don't need the daytime. All I want is nighttime. I don't need the daytime. All I want is nighttime. I don't need the daytime. All I want is nighttime. I don't need the got to let me go. facts of life unspoken. The only game in town. I'll turn the last card down. And now the bank is I'm guilty of no crime. Living the best years of our lives. I'll turn the last card down.
Ooh, interesting ending there. Wow, what a song. Definitely heard at least the chorus. Had to be either on the radio over the years or maybe in media. But wow, a strong song. Clearly this has to be one of their biggest. A lot to love here. The voice, so strong, so bold, confident, powerful, in your face almost. It reminded me a little bit of Tom Bailey from Thompson Twins, one of my favorite singers of the 80s. So I love those references there. Wow, so much going on in this fairly short song. I'd say, though, the bass, the synth bass, and the vocals are the stars of this one. So much happening within those two elements. Wow, plenty of juicy, tasty 80s synth bass to the max, confidently carrying the song. So many amazing vocal parts, though. Wow. The backing vocals were written perfectly to dance with each other together perfectly. Wow. Again, a lot happening here. Really commands your attention. Very catchy. This had to be a single, obviously. That's probably why I heard it on the radio at some point. Probably more than once. Because I did, recognize the chorus for sure. And then the bop-bop-bottom-bombs going on. So much happening here. So much to love. Gets me excited that they have other songs at this high level. Definitely a great, strong 80s classic, feel-good music, but still, tones of passion and urgency thrown in there. Love that balance. I'm going to give it 5 super shiny golden records, an A+ for Let Me Go by Heaven 17, 1982. All right, now on to All the Things She Said by the amazing Simple Minds from 1985. Comes from their 7th studio album, Once Upon a Time. Of course, I know their biggest songs, but I only know about 4 to 5 of their songs max. So excited to hear them. They've been on my list for a while, so I know they're a huge band. Obviously, they're a huge hit from The Breakfast Club, but let's get into this one. Synth Heaven.
Don't you look back on the big lost world. Don't you look down like the hero said. Take me to the street where the bonfires burn. Take me in your arms, I'ma fade away when I hear you say what you gotta say. Anywhere you go, you know I'll still be waiting. All the things she said, little darling, close your eyes. There'll be no compromising. Of all the things she said, throw me to the street where the heartbeat's beating. Speak to the peaceful revolution and the perfect waves surround me. Tell me about the ocean moving in slow motion. I see it glitter in the sun, then it's freezing in the moonlight. Never look back, never look back, never look away. Comes and goes, you know I'll still be waiting. All the things she said, you fought the fight so long, no surrender to temptation. All the things she said, stars will fall out for you. Love will
Is that a piano I heard at the end there? Oh my God, that was great. So much to love here. Gather my thoughts. It's hard. Not used to this, but got me really emotional, even though it's not meant to in a way, it seems like. It's more of an upbeat. Yes, there's some, sadness, probably angst to the lyrics. Maybe not, I don't know. But I think it's meant to be upbeat, strong, but it got me really emotional, not only because the music, the melodies, the riffs, all the instruments were just so amazing, so much to love. But just the nostalgia that happens a lot with 80s. It takes me back to this time, my childhood, something so different from today, something so irreplaceable. That feeling of longing for the past. I'm sure that happens to you guys with different eras in music. But wow, it really got my heart here, tugged at my heart, my emotions. And then you put on this beautiful music and it gets me emotional naturally. Wow. This has to be one of their biggest. Don't You Forget About Me is probably their biggest song from The Breakfast Club, but I know this is a huge song. Obviously, it had to be a single, and I did again recognize part of that chorus, the do 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 do. I think I've heard it. I know I've heard it on the radio back in the days. So it was cool to hear the entire thing and hear all that glorious music. They really did excellent on this one. Again, the bass was amazing. I think it was bass guitar here. I don't think it was standard electric guitar, but the do-do-do-do-do, whatever was going on was amazing. Some great keyboard lines, nothing too overdone, just blended in perfectly. But honestly, the vocals were one of my favorite parts here. I don't know how many singers are on this song, if there was a female, but someone was way up there in a higher octave singing with the lead singer. Sounded amazing. Great backing vocals, again, great vocal melodies written, but also great melodies for the instruments, the individual instruments. Wow, what a beautiful song. I have to give it the Epic Platinum Record Award. Yes, so deserving. For All the Things She Said by Simple Minds, 1985. All right, now we're staying in 1985 to listen to the band Icehouse and their song No Promises from their fourth studio album, Measure for Measure. And I thought that this was the only band out of the 5 today that I'd never heard of until today. I looked on my request list. I see that someone's requested them before. Then I went to Spotify and I see that their song Electric Blue is there. Of course, I love that song. I know it well, or I've heard it many times at least on the radio. I had no idea it was them. So I do know Icehouse, just that one song. Excited to check this one out. So moody.
From the Arabian Nights, wide waves on an ocean, gems from a golden age. Life in your new world, turning round and round, making some sense where there's no sense at all.
That voice, wow.
In these days of a golden age, life in your new world, turning round and round, making some sense where there's no sense at all.
just the shape of things. Break every word, begin it all again. Your name on a white sheet, pure lace shot with passion. But as love lies bleeding in your hand, heaven sends you no promises of Arabian Nights. No white waves on an ocean, no gems from a golden age. Life in your new world, turning round and round. Some make some sense where there's no sense at all. I'll give you no promises, but if you should fall, no promises, but if you should fall, you fall. No promises, but if you should fall.
Isn't that riff super catchy? Wow. So I probably missed the most on this one because, as you can see, I was completely lost, completely just surrendered to the music. It really got me. I was already emotional with that last song. This just threw me in, obliterated me. A perfect example of how just music, the way it's constructed, crafted, arranged, written, can just destroy me in the best way possible, especially when it's 80s. You know, lyrics don't even matter. I don't even know what the song's about, really. I wasn't paying attention to that. Just the music can just take me over in the best way possible. You know, wow. Hard to even put into words. You saw it. I feel it. But hey, a new favorite, obviously, from Icehouse. I only know two. This is obviously my favorite of the two. Probably my favorite of their entire catalog, but I can't wait to get into more of them, probably on YouTube. The vibe here was just so lush, so dreamy. You know I'm here for that. Amazing instrumentation, obviously. Amazing vocals. I can't forget to talk about his incredible voice, so versatile. I think he was going into like these warm, deep registers in the beginning. Then he went high. I don't know if it was falsetto, but it was high. What a range. Just beautiful on every level of his voice. Have to figure out who this amazing singer is. Yes, I've heard him obviously before in Electric Blue, but here he was just shining, and a big reason why this cut to my soul so deeply. And again, so much overwhelming, amazing instrumentation. I forgot a lot of it, but I remember the keyboards, of course, naturally. The riffs, like I talked about, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Everything else that was going on. But that one chord, call it a sucking chord, so cool. It was just a recurring motif throughout the whole song. Just incredible. Added a great, memorable sound, sonic experience to a fully amazing sonic song. So clearly, as you see, this one really got to me. I love it so much. already one of the best of the decade for me, that amazing 80s. It's getting the double Epic Platinum Record Award, of course, completely and easily deserving for No Promises by Icehouse, 1985. Whew. And if all that wasn't enough, we're ending this video on the final song from my number 4 favorite band of all time, of course tied with Tears for Fears, the amazing Duran Duran. We're going to listen to Winter Marches On from 1986, comes from their 4th album, Notorious. Obviously, I know tons of their music, especially the early stuff, but I haven't heard it all, shamefully. I went to this album, and I see that there's several on Notorious that I haven't heard. Shame on me, but hey, that's just how it is. I won't apologize really or make excuses. That's just the way it worked out. But hey, it works today because now I can discover more 80s Duran Duran, through a reaction video. If I knew their whole discography like Depeche Mode, I couldn't do that. So let's check it out. Very exciting to hear something new but old from them, as you can imagine. Very, very different from Duran. The Duran I know, the much Duran I know. Even this album, there's a lot I haven't heard from this album. I really loved it, but again, so different. It was Simon. I know his voice since I was a child, But even he sounded different here, which was really cool. It just like felt like a whole different side of Duran. Yes, it's a little past their huge early 80s heyday, but wow. I love the subdued, gentle, passionate, angsty feel about this one. So much sorrow. They do that perfectly in so many songs like The Chauffeur, The Save a Prayer, etc. I got, that tone, that similar vibe here, but the whole presentation felt so different. I'm pretty sure it was done in a waltz time signature. Dun, 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 dun. And that just gave it a whole lullaby feel. It was a slow build, slowly building. I think by the end I heard some choir sounds. That was amazing. Wow. The plucked strings, amazing. But much to love in this one. Just did not expect it because I know them so well, and this felt so different. What a song. Now I'm curious to the rest of the songs on this album that I haven't heard, see what vibe they give. This one felt nothing like Notorious, which is a huge, funky song, but hey, it just shows their amazing range in 1986. Yes, I really enjoyed this one. It was full of angst and sorrow, yet it was still peaceful, hypnotizing, comforting, etc. I love that juxtaposition in music. I'm going to give it 5 super shiny golden records for now, an A+ for Winter Marches On by Duran Duran. Don't get to say that much. 1986, wow. What a treat today. What a journey. My emotions went on this huge journey alone in this 40 minutes or whatever it's been since I started recording. From Blondie, Atomic, that huge energy, to this quiet, hypnotizing, serene sorrow in Duran Duran, everything in between, incredible. So I bow down to all the artists today. Blondie, Heaven 17, Simple Minds, Icehouse, and Duran Duran. All right, that is it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this one, or at least some of the songs from this list. I think they were all incredible. Anyway, you take care, stay safe, stay hydrated, and as always, I'm wishing you much peace, love, and blessings in your life every single day. I'll see you real soon.